This morning, we are joined live by the current Secretary of State, Jena Griswold. And as the Secretary of State, it's her job to oversee elections, make sure they run smoothly, as well as election security. So, Jena, let's start with this. What's the most important thing Coloradans need to know if they plan to vote today?
Well, to get out to the polls by 7 p.m. So Coloradans can return their mail ballot to a drop box or voting center. By the way, we have over 400 drop boxes open across the state. Or they can even register to vote and cast a ballot by 7 p.m. at a voting center.
Of course, it is too late to vote by mail, so don't drop it in the mailbox, drop it in that voting box. Now, in so many races, there's only one option to fill out on the ballot. Should voters fill that in anyway, and what are the impacts of leaving it blank?
Well, if a voter supports a candidate, absolutely, they can mark the candidate that they support. But either way, there are contested races across the state, and it's so important for voters to make their voices heard. You know, our freedom as Coloradans, as Americans, is really demonstrated at the ballot box. That's how we choose the folks who will represent our towns, our state, our U.S. government. I just think that the right to vote is so sacred. It has to be protected and exercised, of course, on primary day.
So one of the biggest headlines around elections, of course, is security, people wanting to make sure their vote counts. How can Coloradans be sure that their vote is safe?
Colorado is considered one, if not the safest state in the nation to cast a ballot. None of our voting equipment is connected to the internet. Of course, Coloradans vote on a piece of paper, and we do the premier audits. It's called a bipartisan risk limiting audit. So rest assured, our elections are safe and secure, but we have to exercise that right. So make sure to go to govotecolorado.gov. That's where you can find your closest voting center, your closest drop box, and learn what you need to do to register to vote and cast a ballot by 7 p.m. tonight.
We're speaking live right now with Colorado Secretary of State Jena Griswold. Now, you, a Democrat, came out with ads with former Secretary of State Wayne Williams, a Republican, talking about election security. Tell me why.
Well, I think we are seeing massive disinformation, and I really commend Wayne. Not only is he a former Republican Secretary of State, we ran against each other in 2018. And I think it's so important that people who really believe that this country is sacred, that believe in the right to vote, come together and counter election misinformation. We are seeing a massive spike in election misinformation and lies in the big lie. So it's important that we lean in and in a bipartisan way, when possible, get good information out. So we're really proud to do that project with the former Secretary of State Wayne Williams. And we hope that Coloradans, when they're having questions about how elections function, go to a trusted source rather than, possibly consume misinformation. And again, just visit govotecolorado.gov. You can get all accurate information about our elections, or you could go to the county clerk's office, or of course, federal agencies like the FBI or the Department of Homeland Security.
A big day, I'm sure a busy day ahead for the Secretary of State, Jena Griswold. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.